What if I told you that a single penny from 2009, a coin you might already have, could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, a small, forgotten coin tucked inside a jar or resting quietly in your junk drawer could change your financial future forever. Imagine waking up one day, cashing in that penny, and walking away with $950,000, enough to pay off your home, travel the world, or retire in complete comfort. Sounds unbelievable, right? But this isn't a fantasy. It's real. And today, you're going to learn everything you need to know about the rare and astonishing 2009 Lincoln Log Cabin penny with no mint mark. So, don't blink. The next 10 minutes might be the most profitable you've ever spent. Let's start at the beginning. The year was 2009, a time of major transition in American history. But it was also the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. To commemorate this milestone, the U.S. Mint released 4 special edition pennies, each capturing a different chapter of Lincoln's life. The very first of these was the Log Cabin penny, symbolizing Lincoln's humble beginnings in Kentucky. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most of these coins were produced in massive quantities, over 300 million. But among them, a few remarkable pieces stand out: log cabin pennies with no mint mark, some of which have shocking errors or rare traits. These aren't just any pennies. These are coins that collectors will pay tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands, to own. So what makes one tiny penny worth nearly $1 million? It's a combination of mystery, rarity, and perfection. Act 2, the hidden value and what makes it so rare. Let's dig deeper. First, understand this: not every 2009 log cabin penny is valuable. Most are only worth a cent. But a tiny fraction of these coins, especially those with no mint mark and flawless surfaces, have turned into modern-day treasures. Point one of these pennies, in pristine condition with sharp details, vibrant luster, and no mint mark, was valued by collectors and appraisers at a staggering $950,000. Yes, you heard that right. Errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and satin finishes intended for collectors that accidentally made their way into circulation. Now, pause and think, how many pennies have passed through your hands in the last few years? Hundreds? Thousands? The scary truth is, you might have held one of these rare coins and spent it without even knowing that. That's the fear of missing out, the idea that life-changing wealth may have already slipped through your fingers. There are still valuable 2009 pennies out there, waiting to be discovered by someone who simply takes a second look. So now the big question: how can you tell if your penny is worth a fortune? Number 1. Check the front and back for sharp details. These coins should look almost untouched. If there's no visible mint mark under the date, meaning it was struck in Philadelphia, that's your first green flag. Second, inspect for unusual traits. Double lines in the design, a slightly rotated image, or raised areas that don't match the rest of the coin. All of these can signal rare errors. Use a magnifying glass under good lighting. Many collectors miss out simply because they don't look closely enough. In coin collecting, small details make million-dollar differences. Now, suppose you find one that looks promising. What next? Don't just toss it in a drawer. Get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their certification can skyrocket your coin's value and open the door to serious buyers. And here's where things get exciting: collectors are constantly scanning online marketplaces, auctions, and private dealers for coins just like yours. If you hold one of these rare 2009 log cabin pennies, you're sitting on a goldmine, quite literally. While most people ignore the pennies they see every day, a few sharp-eyed individuals are turning those coins into new homes, debt-free lives, and early retirements. The 2009 Lincoln Log Cabin penny with no mint mark is more than just a piece of metal. It's a hidden opportunity. A test of attention. A reward for curiosity. So here's your challenge: after this video ends, go check your collection. Dump out your change jar. Pull out those old boxes from the attic. Because the next $950,000 penny might be hiding in plain sight. And if you think this is the only modern penny worth serious money, think again. That's right. A coin that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up could actually be the key to a life of luxury. Now, imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing you've been sitting on a small fortune all along. The question is, would you even know what to look for? Before you dismiss that jar of old change or that forgotten drawer, you need to hear this story. because someone out there just like you did exactly that. And their life hasn't been the same since. Let's dive into one of the most shocking and valuable errors in modern coin history, the mysterious 2001 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one, how to sell it, and how to make sure you're not letting a fortune slip through your fingers. It all starts with something that seems like a printing mistake, a simple absence of a mint mark on a 2001 Lincoln penny. Now you might be thinking, what's the big deal about a missing mint mark? Isn't that common? For modern coins, a missing mint mark is extremely rare, and often signals a production error that can send collectors into a frenzy. The 2001 penny in question was supposed to be struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which typically uses no mint mark. But some of these coins, for reasons still debated by experts, were struck with unique variations that make them drastically more valuable than face value. Most people never notice. But coin collectors, they notice everything, and one such collector turned a single cent into a verified sale worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let that sink in. One penny. Over $900,000, and the condition. It didn't even have to be perfect. What made it valuable was the rare combination of its missing mint mark and an extremely limited number in circulation. Pair that with a high grade and a clean strike, and you have a coin that auction houses can't stop talking about. Here's where it gets even more exciting. These coins are not locked away in museums or private vaults. They're out there. In circulation. In drawers, piggy banks, glove compartments, and old coffee cans across America. Yes, possibly even in your house right now. Feeling that twinge of excitement? You should, because this isn't just about collecting, this is about transforming a forgotten coin into a life-changing asset. So now you're wondering, how do I know if I have one? First, grab a 2001 penny and check the obverse, the front side. There should be no mint mark under the year. Now, this is important. Some 2001 pennies were meant to have no mint mark. But it's the combination of no mint mark, slight die variations, and specific striking qualities that make the difference. You'll want to look for signs of doubling, unusual spacing in the letters, or crisp detail in Lincoln's profile. Don't assume anything. Even minor details can be worth thousands, and here's the kicker. You don't need to be an expert to get started. Local coin dealers, online appraisal services, and auction platforms can verify your coin. Services like PCGS and NGC can professionally grade it. Once verified, you could list it on heritage auction sites, or connect with serious collectors willing to pay top dollar. But here's the truth. Time is not your friend. Every day, more of these coins are discovered, appraised, and sold, and as the market gets flooded, values can change. That's why you must act fast. The opportunity is real, but it won't wait forever. So before you dismiss those coins lying around, ask yourself, what if your next trip to the grocery store unknowingly handed you a $900,000 penny and change? What if your child's coin collection holds a ticket to financial freedom? What if your retirement doesn't need another paycheck, but just one lucky penny? Don't ignore the signs. Start searching now, because while others watch this video and forget, you can be the one who takes action and cashes in. You now have the knowledge. You now have the power. And maybe, just maybe, you have the penny. Check your coins. Share this with someone who might have one sitting in a drawer. Yes, you heard that right. A single 2002 Lincoln penny has sold for up to $930,000 in the collector's market. Pause for a second. Let that sink in. Just imagine finding one of these rare coins in your old change jar and realizing you're holding nearly $1 million in the palm of your hand. Now ask yourself this. Have you ever truly looked at your old pennies? Or are you unknowingly tossing away a fortune with every trip to the gas station? In the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the astonishing story behind this modern-day treasure. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to look for, and why this coin could change your life forever. So, are you ready to stop letting wealth slip through your fingers? Let's dive in. The 2002 Lincoln penny might seem like just another copper coin. But in the world of rare numismatics, it is a hidden giant. Struck at the Denver Mint, this penny is part of a series that was never expected to attract any serious attention. But something happened. A few special specimens broke all the rules. These rare pennies are not just valuable because of age or metal. No, the real reason lies in the details. Mint errors, die breaks, and striking anomalies have made certain 2002 D pennies incredibly rare. Collectors pay top dollar for these rarities because they know how hard they are to find. In one known case, a high-grade 2002 D penny with a dramatic die crack and pristine surfaces was auctioned for a staggering $930,000. Let's put that into perspective. That's more than the average home value in most parts of the country. All for a coin that could be sitting right now in a coin jar on your kitchen counter. Think about it. Have you ever received a penny in change and just tossed it aside, never giving it a second glance? Most people do. And that's exactly why these coins remain in circulation, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. Let me ask you this. Do you know the signs? Could you recognize a valuable 2002 D penny if it were right in front of you? First, check the condition. Coins that have never been handled, known as mint state or uncirculated, are already worth more. But the real money is in those rare error pennies. Look closely for off-center strikes, double dies, or coins with visible die cracks. If Lincoln's portrait looks slightly blurred, or if the lettering appears duplicated or misaligned, don't ignore it. That could be your golden ticket. One particular penny had a clear double die on the obverse and an off-center strike that made collectors go wild. That coin alone sparked a bidding war, and ended with nearly $1 million exchanged for a coin most people wouldn't even bend over to pick up. Now here's a twist you didn't expect. Some of these coins have actually been found in bank rolls and even pocket change. No rare auction houses. No private collections. Just everyday Americans stumbling across life-changing wealth in the most ordinary places. So ask yourself again, have you checked your pocket change today? This isn't just a story about a rare coin. It's a reminder that life can change in a single moment. If you're paying attention, every time you receive change, every time you find an old coin stashed in a drawer, you have a chance. A real, tangible opportunity to transform your financial future. But here's the catch. These rare 2002 D pennies are vanishing. More and more are being snapped up by collectors and locked away in private vaults. The chances of finding one are dropping every year. And with prices soaring past $900,000, even damaged specimens are starting to draw serious attention. The window of opportunity is closing. The question is, will you be one of the lucky few who acts now, or will you look back in regret, knowing you let a fortune slip through your hands? Start checking your coins today. Search your drawers, your jars, your childhood piggy banks. Because the next life-changing discovery might already be in your home. And here's something even more exciting. The 2002 D penny is not the only modern coin commanding insane value. There are more pennies, nickels, and quarters from the last few decades that are selling for thousands, and we're going to uncover them, one by one. So stay tuned, because in our next video, we're diving into another shocking coin story that could put thousands of dollars in your pocket, overnight. Don't miss it. Imagine holding a coin that seems ordinary, just another copper penny from your pocket change. Now imagine that same coin being worth up to $917,000. Sounds unbelievable. That's exactly what's happening with the rare 2006 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Most people overlook this coin every single day. But those who recognize its hidden value are walking away with life-changing money. The kind of wealth that pays off mortgages, eliminates debt, and builds a legacy. Today, we uncover the story of the 2006 D penny, a modern treasure hiding in plain sight. Stick with me until the end, because what you learn in the next few minutes might turn your next coin roll into your retirement plan. Let's go back to 2006. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies that year. To the average eye, they all look the same. Same design. Same weight. Same dull copper tone. But here's where it gets interesting. A small handful of those 2006 D pennies were struck with astonishing errors so rare, collectors are willing to pay staggering amounts just to own them. Some of these error coins include off-center strikes, double dies, and even misplaced mint marks. And when these rare features are found in mint state condition, meaning flawless, untouched, and gleaming, they fetch premium prices at auctions. One such coin sold for up to $917,000. Yes, almost $1 million, for a penny. Let that sink in. why would someone pay so much for a 1-cent coin? Because in the world of numismatics, rarity plus condition equals extreme value. And the 2006 penny checks both boxes, but here's the real kicker, most of these valuable pennies are still out there. In jars, drawers, wallets, or even hiding inside your car's cup holder. Have you checked yours? So, how do you know if your 2006 Lincoln penny is worth a fortune? Start by looking at the details. First, examine the mint mark. It should be a clear D located just below the year 2006. Then, grab a magnifying glass and check for doubling, on the date, the word liberty, or the phrase, in God we trust. If the letters appear blurry or doubled, you might be holding a double die. Next, inspect the coin's condition. Mint state coins have no signs of wear, scratches, or handling. They shine almost as if they were struck yesterday. If your coin looks nearly flawless, it's time to get excited, but don't rely on guesswork. Always get the coin professionally graded. Use trusted services like PCGS or NGC. These companies authenticate and grade coins on a scale up to 70. The higher the grade, the higher the potential payout, and remember, timing matters. As more people become aware of the 2006 penny's value, competition increases, and your window to sell at peak price narrows. Waiting could mean missing out on the best offers. Now, ask yourself this, would you rather keep that penny collecting dust, or trade it for nearly $1 million? Here's the truth. Most people will ignore this video and never check their coins. They'll miss the chance to turn a forgotten penny into generational wealth, but not you. You stayed until the end because you see the value, the opportunity, and the dream. You're not just collecting coins, you're building your future. So before the day ends, grab your coin jar. Search for that 2006 penny. You might just be holding the key to your next chapter, and if you think this is the only hidden treasure in your house, wait until you hear about the penny that sold for over $1.7 million. That's the story we'll uncover next. Are you ready? It's selling for as much as $643,000. This isn't a fantasy. It's a 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and it might still be sitting in your drawer, your coin jar, or even in your wallet right now. And here's the most startling part, it's not just collectors chasing these coins. Investors, estate buyers, and wealthy collectors are silently sweeping them off the market. So the real question is, do you have one? And more importantly, would you even know if you did? In this video, we'll uncover the full story of the 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny. We'll walk you through what makes this coin so rare, the features that turn an ordinary penny into a six-figure treasure, and how you can spot one, before it's too late. So don't blink. Because missing out on this opportunity might just cost you a life-changing fortune. Let's begin. In 2013, the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. Most were struck in Philadelphia and Denver, nothing unusual there, but among the endless ocean of ordinary coins, a tiny number emerged with one shocking detail: they carried no mint mark whatsoever. Now, normally, a missing mint mark on a Philadelphia penny isn't strange. After all, Philadelphia didn't use a mint mark for decades. But in recent years, the rules changed. And in 2013, certain coins lacking that mint mark were struck with unusual precision, high-grade finishes, and mysterious die errors. That's when coin experts and seasoned collectors began noticing something unusual. Some of these 2013 pennies featured doubling on Lincoln's eye. Others had sharp luster, flawless surfaces, and microscopic die cracks that pointed to early die states, a term collectors use for the very first coin struck by a new die, often the sharpest and most valuable. And that's where things started to spiral. Auction houses began recording unusual bidding wars. Coins graded MS-67 and above, that's mint state 67, began fetching tens of thousands. Then hundreds of thousands, and finally, in a moment that stunned the numismatic world, one pristine 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny sold for a staggering $643,000, all for a coin most people still believe is only worth 1 cent. So what makes these pennies so valuable? 3 key factors. First, condition. A 2013 penny in pocket change condition won't make you rich. But one in pristine, uncirculated mint state, that's a different story. Especially if it's been graded by a top agency like PCGS or NGC. Second, rarity of strike. Only a small number of 2013 no-mint mark pennies show the unique die characteristics collectors crave: doubling, early die cracks, and strong luster. Third, demand. And here's where it gets wild. Because every day, more collectors enter the scene, hoping to strike gold. Demand is surging, but supply? Practically frozen. And now, here's the part that might surprise you: there's no secret vault where these coins are hiding, that they're out there. In drawers, change jars, antique shops, yard sales, and forgotten boxes left behind by parents and grandparents. So here's your challenge. Are you going to take this seriously? Or will this be another missed opportunity that someone else cashes in on, because while you're wondering, someone else just flipped a coin they found in their glove compartment for 5 figures? Still not convinced? Think about this: it takes less than 5 minutes to check your spare change. And if you find the right coin, the one with sharp detail, no mint mark, and the right condition, it could change your life forever. But don't wait. Every day that passes, more of these coins are being graded, sold, and sealed into private collections, never to return to the public market. So, what should you look for? Look for a 2013 penny with no mint mark on the right side under the date. Check for sharp details, especially in Lincoln's eye and hair. Use a magnifier to spot any doubling or die cracks. These are signs of early strikes, and if you find one that looks promising, submit it for grading immediately, because the window is closing, and every second counts. Now, before we wrap up, I'll leave you with this: some people work a lifetime for what this single penny is now worth. $643,000, from a coin that most people throw into a tip jar. What will you do differently now? Because someone is going to find the next one. Why not you? Yes, you heard that right. A 2014 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has reportedly sold for up to $632,000 in the open market. This isn't fiction. This is a quiet revolution happening right in your change drawer. Right now, someone out there is cashing in on a coin most people wouldn't bend over to pick up. The question is, will that someone be you? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal what makes this unassuming penny so valuable, how to identify the exact features collectors are obsessed with, and how you can turn a few cents into a small fortune. But first, what makes this particular penny so rare? Why is the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln cent shaking up the numismatic world? Let's start from the beginning. In 2014, the US Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. Most were business strikes intended for everyday circulation. But here's where the story takes a turn. A tiny handful of these coins, struck in Philadelphia, bear no mint mark. That alone is not rare. Philadelphia coins traditionally do not carry one. But the devil, as always, is in the details. Among these coins, a few exhibit minting errors so precise, so bizarre, they've become prized possessions among serious collectors. We're talking about rare double die errors, ultra-high grades from top grading companies, and coins struck on experimental planchets. These errors are almost impossible to notice unless you know what to look for. Let me ask you, have you ever held a coin up to the light, turning it slowly, scanning for anything unusual? A slight doubling of Lincoln's profile. A misaligned die that stretches the date. A subtle color or texture difference that makes the surface shimmer strangely. These are not just flaws. They're lottery tickets in disguise. The most expensive 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny sold in recent years wasn't just lucky. It was graded MS69 red by a trusted authority. Nearly perfect. A tiny, gleaming copper time capsule that slipped through the cracks of mass production and became a silent treasure. And the owner? They were just an average person like you. A hobbyist. A weekend garage sailor. Maybe even a retiree cleaning out a drawer. That single penny changed everything for them. One coin. One find. One decision to check. Imagine what that kind of windfall could do for you. Now you're probably wondering, do I have one of these? Could I be sitting on a fortune and not even know it? Let me guide you through exactly what to look for. First, locate any 2014 Lincoln penny in your possession. Focus on coins without a mint mark. That means they were struck in Philadelphia. Then examine the coin's condition. Is it free of scratches? Does it have that bright red luster collectors crave? This luster is more than shine, it's money. Next, use a magnifier to inspect the date, Lincoln's profile, and the lettering. Look for signs of doubling. Check for odd spacing or distortions in the word Liberty. Examine Lincoln's shoulder and the rim of the coin. Sometimes the tiniest error is the most valuable one. And here's something most people never consider: the weight. A standard penny from 2014 should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours weighs more or less, it could have been struck on a different planchet, making it an immediate candidate for expert appraisal. Still not sure? Don't guess. Submit your coin to a trusted grading service. The cost is minor compared to the potential reward. Some companies even offer bulk submission discounts, and if you're sorting through old jars, you may have more than one gem hiding in plain sight. But remember, timing is everything. These coins are already creating buzz. As awareness spreads, more people will flood the market, driving prices down. The best prices go to early movers. That's your window. And it's closing. Let me put it plainly, this is your chance to turn pocket change into legacy money. A down payment on a house. College tuition. A new start. But only if you act now. So here's the real question: will you be the person who casually dismisses an old penny, or the one who recognizes its true worth before anyone else? That penny sitting in your kitchen drawer might be worth more than your car. Are you ready to find out? In the next video, I'll walk you through the grading process step by step, and show you how one couple turned their penny collection into over $1 million in under a year. But first, check your coins. Because wealth doesn't always come from a paycheck. Sometimes, it's hiding in plain sight. And right now, someone in America could unknowingly be walking around with one in their pocket. Sounds impossible? It's not that. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover the incredible story of the 2017 D penny, why it's turning heads in the numismatic world, and how you might already own one of the rarest modern coins without even realizing it. Imagine this: you dig through an old coin jar, and there it is. 1 cent, that unlocks a new life. But here's the catch: time is running out. Collectors are snatching these up fast. Will you be the one who cashes in, or the one who watches from the sidelines? Let's find out. To understand why a 2017 D Lincoln penny could be worth more than a luxury car, we need to start with the basics. The D Mint mark stands for Denver, one of the 3 U.S. mint facilities responsible for coin production. In 2017, the mint released billions of pennies. So what makes this one so special? Well, it's not about the quantity. It's about the mistake. You see, a few 2017 D Lincoln pennies were struck with critical minting errors, rare anomalies that make them incredibly desirable to collectors. We're talking about off-center strikes, double dies, and even transitional planchet errors. Wait, transitional what? Transitional planchet errors occur when a coin is accidentally struck on a metal blank intended for a different year or denomination. These kinds of errors are like winning the lottery in the coin world. They're freak accidents, and they're worth a fortune. Now here's where things get exciting. Point 1: verified 2017 D penny with a severe die error was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $626,000. That's not a typo. A coin most people overlook, worth more than the average American home. So how do you know if your penny is the golden ticket? Start by grabbing a magnifying glass. Look closely at Lincoln's portrait. Do you notice any doubling in the lettering or the date? Does the coin look off-center? Are the edges misaligned or unusually thick? Even small details can mean massive value. And get this, even without major errors, some 2017 D pennies in pristine, uncirculated condition have sold for thousands. This isn't just about collecting coins. This is about seizing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, because here's the truth: the people who cash in on these treasures are the ones who pay attention. That they're not just lucky. They're aware, and the longer you wait, the harder these rare finds become to uncover. Now ask yourself this: when was the last time you checked your spare change, your penny jar, your dresser, the center console of your car? Because right now, thousands of people are waking up to the value hiding in plain sight. That they're selling coins like this and paying off debts, taking dream vacations, starting new businesses, funding retirements. This is no longer just a hobby. It's a movement, but here's the danger: every day you wait, another 2017 D penny vanishes into a collector's vault, never to be seen again. Think about that. What if your chance is sitting just feet away from you, and you never even bother to look? That's the real loss. Not the money. The missed opportunity. Now is the time to act. Check your change. Search your drawers. Dig through every old coin container you've ignored for years, and when you find something that looks unusual, don't just toss it aside. Get it appraised. Post it in collector groups. Compare it to online guides. You don't need to be an expert, you just need to care enough to look, because this story doesn't have to end with someone else's success. It could begin with you. So here's your next step: subscribe for more rare coin insights, because tomorrow's $1 million penny could already be in circulation. Will you be the one who finds it, or will you be the one who says, "I wish I had checked"? The choice is yours. Start your search. Because wealth, in the form of 1 cent, could be right in your hand. But for a few lucky Americans, it's already a reality. Right now, there's a 2020 Lincoln penny with a tiny D mint mark that has stunned collectors. It's modern, it's common looking, and yet, some of these coins are selling for as much as $620,000. Yes, you heard that right. A penny from 2020. Worth over $500,000. So why is this everyday looking coin turning ordinary people into the next big success story in the numismatic world? That's exactly what we're about to uncover. Before you toss out your spare change or ignore your penny jar, stick around. Because this small, copper-colored coin may just be your ticket to financial freedom. Let's rewind a bit. The year was 2020. A year filled with uncertainty, economic shifts, and quiet chaos. While most people were focused on navigating the new normal, something unusual slipped into circulation: an ordinary-looking Lincoln penny, stamped with the Denver Mint signature, D. At first glance, it seemed like any other coin. But numismatists, the experts who dedicate their lives to rare coins, noticed something different. Certain 2020 D Lincoln pennies had dramatic minting errors, doubled features, and in some cases, flawless surfaces preserved in pristine condition. And here's where things take a surprising turn. One of these pennies was auctioned for over $600,000 due to its combination of rarity, demand, and nearly perfect condition. Others have sold for thousands, even tens of thousands, depending on grading and visible errors. Now you may be wondering, why would someone pay that kind of money for a penny? It's not just about the metal. It's about history, rarity, and the story a coin tells. A story you might be holding without even knowing it. Imagine the excitement. One moment, you're organizing coins with your kids or cleaning out your car's cup holder. The next, you're on the phone with a coin dealer who's offering 5 or even 6 figures for what you thought was spare change. Still think pennies aren't worth your time, and here's what's even more fascinating: the value of these coins continues to climb. Collectors know there are only a limited number of perfect or error-rich 2020 D pennies out there. Once they're found, they're locked away in private collections, driving up demand for the few still left in circulation. This isn't just about coins. This is about building wealth from knowledge most people overlook. So how do you know if you have one of these rare 2020 D Lincoln pennies? Start by looking for the D mint mark, located just below the year on the front of the coin. Then, check for signs of doubling, especially around Lincoln's eye, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." You'll also want to check for any off-center strikes, unusually sharp details, or surfaces without a single scratch. These features can dramatically increase value, and if you find something that looks promising, don't guess. Get it professionally graded. A certified coin from a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC can fetch far more than an unverified one. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to be curious. You just need to care enough to look closely. Because while others are letting these coins pass through their fingers, you could be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand. Ask yourself this: how many pennies have you ignored over the years? How many chances at wealth might you have already missed? But here's the truth. This isn't about regret. It's about opportunity. Right now. Today, collectors are on the hunt. Dealers are paying premium prices. And you could be next. So go check that drawer. Revisit that jar of coins. Because the next story of overnight wealth might begin with you. And it might begin with a penny. Stay tuned, because in our next video, we're diving into another coin that looks ordinary but could be worth more than your yearly salary. You won't want to miss it. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, don't forget to subscribe for more hidden coin stories, market tips, and real ways to turn pocket change into prosperity. This is Rare Coins World, where every coin counts, and some change everything. Your wealth could be hiding in plain sight. Will you find it?
In the world of coin collecting, legends aren't just forged in gold and silver. Sometimes, the most ordinary pocket change hides a secret so powerful, it can transform a handful of 5 cents into a life-changing fortune. Imagine this. You're holding a nickel, dull and unremarkable. Something you've probably tossed into a tip jar without a second thought. But what if that same nickel could be worth not just hundreds, not just thousands, but hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in the most jaw-dropping cases, reported market sales reaching up to $999,000. Almost $1 million. For a nickel, sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? And yet, the story of the 1964 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is one of the most mysterious and electrifying tales in American numismatic history. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute. How can a nickel, minted by the billions, possibly be rare enough to fetch that kind of money? That's where things get interesting. Because hidden in the fine details of history, minting practices, and condition rarity lies a perfect storm that has turned this otherwise common coin into the holy grail of Jefferson. Nickels, before we dive in, let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you actually looked closely at your change? Think about it. Every day, millions of Americans handle nickels without noticing the tiny details. The dates, the subtle differences that could mean the difference between 5 cents and financial freedom. And here's the kicker: people just like you have stumbled across treasures in their own homes, tucked away in old jars, inherited from parents and grandparents, or forgotten in dusty dresser drawers. So let's peel back the curtain and enter the world of the 1964 no mint mark, Jefferson nickel. By the end of this story, you might never look at your pocket change the same way again. The year is 1964. America is in the middle of massive change. The Civil Rights Act has just been signed. The Beatles are invading the airwaves, and the U.S. Mint is facing one of the greatest coin shortages in history. Demand for coins is skyrocketing, and the mint is under enormous pressure to produce billions of nickels, dimes, and quarters. In fact, 1964 marks the single highest mintage of Jefferson nickels ever. Over 1 billion struck. You'd think that means the coins are as common as dirt. And that's true for most of them, but here's where the plot thickens. Unlike today, where coins bear tiny mint marks like D for Denver or S for San Francisco, in 1964, the system was chaotic. The government even halted proof sets for collectors, all in a desperate attempt to funnel coins into circulation. And while Denver and Philadelphia mints were cranking out nickels non-stop, many of the Philadelphia issues carried no mint mark at all. That's not unusual by itself. Philadelphia coins often went without mint marks, but combined with the sheer production frenzy, mistakes and irregularities slipped through, and collectors began to notice something different. Among the mountain of 1964 nickels, a small fraction were struck with extraordinary precision, often on high-quality planchettes, producing coins of stunning sharpness. Others carried subtle die varieties and doubled features, and a few were preserved in pristine, untouched condition, surviving the decades without a single scratch. These are the survivors that command jaw-dropping prices today. But let's pause here and ask, what makes a coin worth nearly $1 million? Is it just age, rarity, beauty? The answer is more complex. In numismatics, value is determined by a deadly combination of rarity, demand, and condition. And the 1964 no-mint mark nickel has all three factors colliding in dramatic fashion. Here's the twist. Most 1964 nickels are practically worthless 5 cents at best. Maybe a few dollars if they're slightly better than average. But in top condition, what collectors call full steps, meaning the tiny steps on Monticello's design are perfectly visible and unbroken, these nickels enter a league of their own. And that's where the numbers get staggering. Imagine this, a coin you could have pulled from circulation in the 1960s, preserved by pure luck, now sitting under the bright lights of an auction house. Bidders lean in, holding their paddles high. The auctioneer calls out the numbers: 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. And yes, documented sales have pushed the boundaries into the high six figures. At least one pristine example has been reported to reach nearly $999,000, almost $1 million. For a single nickel dot, think about that for a moment. That's more than the average American home. That's enough to retire early. All from a coin so many people dismiss without a second thought. But here's the danger and the thrill. For every legendary 1964 nickel, there are millions of imposters. Coins that look ordinary. Coins that collectors dream about, but which fail under the microscope of grading experts. And here's where the suspense tightens. How do you know if the nickel in your hand is the one that could change your life? Let me paint you a picture. You dump out an old coffee tin of coins left by your grandfather. You sift through dimes, quarters, pennies, and then you see Ida, 1964 nickel with no mint mark. Your heart skips. Could this be the one? You grab a magnifying glass, tilt it under the light. You look for the tiny details on Monticello's steps. If every line is crisp, unbroken, and perfect, you may be holding a treasure. But beware, most aren't. Most have wear, scratches, or weak strikes that disqualify them. Yet the possibility is there. And that possibility is what keeps collectors awake at night. Now, let's add another layer to this story. In 1965, the Mint officially banned the use of mint marks for several years, trying to discourage collectors from hoarding coins. That means the 1964 issue is not only the last of an era, but also a bridge into a strange chapter of American coinage. This historical context adds weight to its desirability. Collectors know they're not just buying metal. They're buying a slice of history, a moment frozen in time when America itself was in transition. And here's where things get even more intriguing. The Jefferson nickel design, with Monticello on the reverse, seems simple enough. But for decades, striking those tiny steps sharply was a nightmare for the mint. Weak strikes were common, so when a coin comes along with full, flawless steps, sits like striking gold, except it's nickel. Irony, anyone. Now, maybe you're wondering, should you rush to the bank and demand boxes of nickels to search through? Should you tear apart every piggy bank in the house? Here's my advice. Don't underestimate what you already have. Those jars of coins collecting dust in your closet might be more valuable than any trip to the bank. Many of the rarest finds aren't discovered in circulation today. They're uncovered in forgotten collections. Places where coins were stashed away decades ago, untouched. But time is the enemy here. Every year that passes, fewer pristine 1964 nickels remain. Coins get lost, damaged, or degraded, which means those still in perfect condition only become more valuable. And if that doesn't spark urgency, I don't know what will. Ask yourself, what would you do if you discovered one? Would you keep it, frame it, and tell your friends you own a nickel worth more than a Ferrari? Or would you cash out, ride the wave of demand, and secure your future? There's a strange poetry in it all. A coin designed to represent everyday America, featuring Thomas Jefferson, one of the nation's most complex founding fathers. Struck by the billions during a time of social upheaval, now standing as one of the most valuable rarities in modern numismatics. Who could have predicted it? Certainly not the millions of Americans who jingled these coins in their pockets as they bought. For 30 cents a gallon, or movie tickets for $1. And yet, here we are, decades later, living in a world where those same coins could alter your financial destiny. So the next time you find yourself with a nickel in hand, don't dismiss it. Look closer. Ask yourself, could this be one of the survivors? Could this be the hidden gem that turns a casual glance into a life-changing discovery? Because here's the truth. Somebody has to find the next $1 million nickel. Why not you? In a world where fortunes can hide in plain sight, opportunity doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it jingles quietly in your pocket, waiting for the right eyes to notice. So check your change, search your jars, dig through those old drawers. The 1964 no-mint Mark Jefferson nickel is out there. And for those lucky enough to recognize it, that ordinary piece of metal could become the most extraordinary story of your life.